Boxing reaches into all corners of our society, from anything from social change to social movements, to pop culture icons and popular media, to ethics and morals that we apply to the squared circle, and how we respond to ethics and moral violations in the squared circle. We can see that starting off with our most famous example being the fight of the century. In the 1960s, Muhammad Ali would come face to face with Joe Frazier. Muhammad Ali was a brash, outspoken fighter who would often use those tactics outside of the ring to mentally wear down his opponents beforehand. Frazier, in contrast, was a hard-working man who was silent and would rather let his fists do the talking inside the ring. This only added to Ali's critics and detractors because Ali had refused to be drafted into the United States Armed Services for the Vietnam War. And Frazier, in kind, was painted as America's golden boy in response to this event. We can see that from this event and the amount of social change that it sparked, that boxing can reach into many corners of society, but more particularly those regarding social change and changes as how we think as a group. Moving on to another example would be a man in the 1980s coming up through the heavyweight rankings. Anything from bone-breaking power to bombastic fights, Michael Gerard Tyson is his legal name, but you may know him by his epithet that we've called him, such as Kid Dynamite. We've also called him the baddest man on the planet, but we all simply know him as Mike Tyson. Tyson's success in the ring has attributed his appearances to many forms of media that would make him a household name, such as Hangover 1. Another example would be Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, the popular video game for the Super Nintendo. To describe Tyson's fight, we can quote William F. McNeil, the author of Mike Tyson Heavyweight, in his fight with another fellow heavyweight contender named Donnie Long. 2 uppercuts sent Long to the canvas, and 1 straight right hand brought him to his knees. And that's how many of Tyson's fights were. And a lot of this success has attributed to him being a pop culture icon that appears in various forms of media that we all know, whether we're fans of boxing or not. And his name and image will be recognized for generations to come. And then we can see as a society that we enforce that our own values and ethics are enforced inside the squared circle. And we react in kind to violations of those ethics. And we can see this in the famous example in 2008, where rising Puerto Rican phenomenon Miguel Cotto would come to blows with Mexican superstar Antonio Margarito. This fight was building up to be one of the super fights of the year. The only issue is Margarito was accused of putting plaster in his hand wraps, which effectively would increase the impact and effect of his punches. This resulted in Miguel Cotto having a broken nose from this fight. Now, as a society, we reacted to this by putting this all over headlines. Everybody heard about it. No matter what corner of society you were in, or at that time period in 2008, no matter what group you consider yourself a part of or subculture, everybody knew about this because it was a staunch violation to what we consider correct ethics, correct values, and correct morals. And at that time, people that were not just boxing fans, but everybody had expected the Boxing Commission to enforce our values and upon that fight and sanction that fight and demand a rematch, to which Miguel Cotto would get when they would fight again, and he would win by a dominating decision over Antonio Margarito. But we can see that we as a society react to things that happen inside the squared circle, which further emphasizes that boxing truly does transcend beyond its niche audience. So boxing has many involvements in our society, whether it be from social events to social thinking and how we view certain things, to pop culture media icons such as Mike Tyson becoming one of the most well-known household names and athletes to ever live, even down to certain controversies and certain fights that we find unfair. We enforce our ethics and values, which further proves that boxing has more than a profound effect on just its audience that pays attention to it, but has a knockout statement to make on society.